Select a difficulty. At higher difficulties, better deploying.
Deploying awesome. Going in as wing diver on Inferno. This is Earth Defense Force 4.1 for the PlayStation 4. And welcome to a classic game room strategic hyper instructional tactics review, where I'm going to save these people from giant insects while giving a never-ending review of one of my favorite games here. I'm looking at a lot of different games for this series, and also teach you, listeners, how to play, how to best play, how to win. Of course, you're already winning. If you're playing Earth Defense Force, you're just win, because then you can just run around and scream EDF. But if you really want to win at like Inferno difficulty, I'll teach you how. First thing you gotta do is look great in a miniskirt, which thankfully I do. And then you want to start out by killing everything from a distance if possible. Inferno is no joke. This is twice as hard as hardest. So clearly it's not hardest. Hardest basically translates into complete wuss. If you really want the best weapons and the most challenge in Earth Defense Force, you play on Inferno. It really is insanely hard. If you're surrounded, you're dead instantly. And this is the first mission in the game, which actually isn't the easiest. The easiest mission in the game is Mission 2, which I'll cover in the next Strategic Hyper Instructional Tactics video. If you're surrounded, you're dead. You simply cannot survive. The enemies are insanely powerful on Inferno. So I'm going into this with two decent weapons. I will check here in a moment for you. I'll do it right now. Hold on one second. Let me go check my footage and I'll tell you which weapons I'm using. I'm going to hit the pause button. Pause. Oh, well, it doesn't pause for you. It paused for me. Never mind. Ignore that.
Understood.
Okay, I am using the Laser 300, which is a level 62 weapon, and the RSR Plasma Launcher, which is also a level 62 weapon. And my wing diver has over 670 health. So she could totally smack you up. EDF! EDF! Do you like death? Then die! These games are so good. So, how do you get level 62 weapons? Well, the first thing you do is watch classic game room strategic hyper instructional tactics videos, where I will show you how to get level 62 weapons. Once you have level 62 weapons, things aren't necessarily easy. In fact, I'm not going to be able to play all these levels on Inferno. I can do the first couple. Because you don't tend to get surrounded on the first couple. Now, if you just get... Now, if for some reason you're like, holy crap, I've never heard of this game, it looks amazing. Well, first, you have good taste. Yes, it does look amazing, and it is amazing. In fact, it's even better than it looks. The first thing you do probably is start with the infantry.
All right, we got tanks!
So maybe I'll play this also with the infantry guy. Well, he's just not as much fun as the wing. Wing diver's the best because you can fly. And that's just super cool. But she has an energy bar, which means that if you're not careful, you could run out of energy. And she's not very strong. I mean, well, she's pretty tough once you get over 600 and some health points. But she's not nearly as powerful as the infantry. Anyway, start with infantry. Get the basics for the game, and then play as Wing Diver, who I think is the best character in the game. It just makes it really fun. When you can fly, everything's better. And also, she looks great in a miniskirt, just like me.
You heard the man.
I mean, why wouldn't you go into battle with a miniskirt and like armor that complements your miniskirt and what are those blue, like purple ear flaps? She got great style. Anyway. Once again, you want to try to get rid of as many enemies from a distance as possible. And if you're playing on Inferno, If you've even made it to a level where you can survive for like 30 seconds on Inferno, you probably don't need to pick up the armor. Not to say that the armor's not helpful, but there's easier ways to get armor. So, like, don't go out of your way on Inferno to get armor. If you want to get armor, go play on easy and play one of those levels where there's thousands of enemies and just collect armor. That's actually a real tip here. And I'll show you that in some of the other levels, in other strategic hyper-instructional tactics videos. I'm just going to play through the whole game in order. So I'll show you some of the best levels to, what do you kids call it? Is it farming or mining? I always forget. Collecting shit. I'll show you some of the best levels where you can collect shit and make your characters stronger. But again, get rid of things from a distance, which doesn't... I'm making this look easy. I mean, I was playing this last night, and it's the first time I think I've played this level on Inferno after getting like up over 600 health points. And I was like, oh, wow. This really isn't too hard. This used to be impossible. The first time I beat this level on Inferno, I used infantry, and it took like 20 tries because I kept getting... So right here's the moment. It's pretty easy up until this point, and now you see in the distance there's just red. Well, that's a lot of red. It doesn't look like a lot of red, but it is. It's a giant sea of red coming to kill you. And she can fly, so it's kind of easy to get out of the way. Now here's a real tip with the Earth Defense Force 4.1 as Wing Diver. This doesn't apply to the other ones, really. But as Wing Diver, since she runs out of energy, as you see in the bottom right there, I actually inadvertently backed up into a building, but it turned out to be a pretty good idea. So, she has a lot of energy, or she has energy, and the energy is depleted by flying and using the giant plasma gun. Okay? The laser uses ammunition, which you might notice that I'm switching between the two. The laser is a good medium range weapon, and then the plasma one is good for long range. You do not want to use plasma short range. In fact, I played this once before this, and just blew myself up halfway through the mission. I usually cause more harm to myself than the enemies do at this point in the game. You're not going to blow yourself up with the laser, but what you will do, or what I will do, is forget which weapon I have equipped and then just inadvertently blow myself up. So, be careful when using the explosive weapons. Now I've done a great job actually of thinning the herd so they can't swarm me. So at this point it's easy, but again, I'm making this look easy. Not only am I patting myself on the back, but I am legitimately making this look easy. It is so much harder than this when you just start playing the game. But the principles remain the same. Kill things from a distance, as many as possible, before they surround you. Anyway, back to the two different weapons types, and you'll notice I do this for all of these videos. I'll have one that uses ammo and one that uses my health bar, or the energy bar. Now, the one that uses ammo needs to reload, and then it will pull from your energy bar. And there's a couple. I can think of a few other more challenging missions where I'm flying a lot, and then I lose because I'm trying to reload while flying, and it just drains my energy bar, and then giant insects eat my eyeballs. So, when you're playing on Inferno, you want to fly around and try to collect as many of the weapons as possible, because that's when you get the really big weapons. The weapon drops are kind of random. I forget exactly how this works. You can read up about it online. But if you can make it through some of the harder levels on Inferno, that's when you get insane weapons. And I think I made it through. I forget which one. It's the one with the giant queen in the caverns. I made it through on Inferno after like 15 tries, mind you, by basically just hiding from a distance and just launching missiles into this room until everything was dead, and also a bit of luck. And that's actually when I got, I think, one or two of these 62 level weapons, and yeah, they're really good. So, start out playing Earth Defense Force on easy, and collect as much armor as possible. You need armor, especially if you're playing as infantry, because infantry can't fly, and you'll be surrounded. Health points are good for Wing Diver, but they're probably more important for infantry. I'm going to shoot that stupid table because it's there. Anyway, I'll see you next time on Classic Game Room. Thank you, Subscribe to my Ugloob channel here, and of course, Classic Game Room is funded by viewers on Patreon who support the edited content and core reviews. So thank you. See you soon. If you're going to buy the game anyway, buy it through ClassicGameRoom.com. Classic Game Room is supported by fans on Patreon. Thank you. Now prepare for the Lord Carnage Club, where I celebrate these backers on Patreon by shouting their name in a volcano! Derek Langley. Beer is the trick. Stephen Chucknick. From New Jersey. Michael Fernandez. People not named Michael Fernandez aren't Michael Fernandez. Al Stiver. Woo! EDF! Jason from British Columbia. Philipp Straubenmueller from Vienna, Austria. Cue the thunder. Jeff, Captain Dauntless, Briar. Cue the lava. I don't know what lava sounds like. It sounds like this. Jack Stavris from Australia. Ohad Kane, Master of Thunder. Chip Senkbeil, Fighter of Space Bees. Woo! Ric de Barros gets the extra disco. Michael and Ariana Nelson, Fighters of the Future. That's enough disco, because now it's time to shout, Busy Signal! That's right, and keep the volume loud and the party rocking for Sean Zoltek. Really? No. Sean Zoltek! Sergio Matthias Hergert! Tubular. Will.